Alright, number 10. Like, the love of my life is a 10. Yes, he is. You know who you are. Okay, so, when we do this problem, and this is going to be intense. Kind of like me. What? Okay. Don't laugh. That's okay. I'm still going to do it. Alright, so we need the height. Nice. Here. Alright, we need the 1/2 the base times the height. That's the whole key to this problem, right? So the first step is to figure out where the height is. Now the height is always perpendicular to the base. Okay? So this is the height. Right? And this is the base. Okay? So we know where the height is, we know where the base is. Now we need to know what everything is labeled. Okay? So we have angle CAB. Okay? So what we want to do, I'm going to try it in brown. Obviously, if you don't have brown, use black. Okay? If this is big C, this is little c. If this is big A, this is little a. If this is big B, this is little b. Okay? Alright. So, we have them labeled. We need to know where we started. What are we going to do? We need to find these two sides. We need to find this height and we need to find this base. Again, the base is this whole thing. Okay? So, the best way to find A, alright, is, well, we could use the law of sines, right? Or are we going to use the law of cosines in this case? We could use the law of sines if we had this and we had this, right? But we don't. We are missing both of these. So I can't use the law of sines if I'm missing two parts. So, but what I can do is the law of cosines, right? The law of cosines, as long as I have A and B, right? Or two sides, which I have two sides, and the angle opposite of the side that I'm looking for, the angle opposite of the side I'm looking for, I can use law of cosines. That's the key. Okay? So I need two sides plus the angle opposite of the side I'm looking for. Law of cosines. Okay? So your first step, C is, oh well, we can't write C because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for A.
So we're writing A.
Right? So we're going to write A is equal to the square root. So that means we have to reorganize this. Since it's A, then this is the angle A. So it's cosine A.
Is this step one?
Yeah. Since this is AB, now it's going to become BC. You see what I'm saying? So A is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2. And see how it goes AB, AB? So it's going to go BC, BC. Does that make sense? So now we rewrote the law of cosines rule to fit the triangle that we're looking for. In this case, A is equal to BC, B squared plus C squared, right? Minus 2BC times the cosine of A. Okay? And what that is, that's step one, and that is the law, the definition of the law of cosines. Okay? The definition of the law of cosines. Okay? Or the law of cosines theorem, if you want. Okay? Law of cosines theorem. Okay? It's up to you. Alright? Alright, next. is step 2, right? What's step 2? Plug it in, plug it in. Yeah, it's old school, you know. Can that even see me? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
To see the whole board?
Um,
Because it looks like it got turned. Does it see this?
tiny bit. Slightly.
Let's see here.
There.
Okay. Sees the whole board. All right, cool. So plug it in, plug it in. The old school. That's old school rock and roll. So like, okay. Keep it going, son. So we plug it in. A is equal to the square root of what's B?
16.
16 squared plus what's C?
12.
12 squared minus 2 times what's B?
16.
Good. And C?
12.
And the cosine of the angle A, what's angle A?
137.
137. Alright. So, that's step 2. What did we do there?
Substitution.
Substitution. Very good. Okay. Step 3. Simplification. Now this takes a lot of steps. Now, I like my phone, I can just calculate it out, I can plug all that in one thing and hit equals and then it's done. But a lot of you have these trusty dusty calculators, so when you do these calculators, you need to do it in steps. Okay? So to do it on these calculators, hopefully the thing will see this, but you want to do the cosine of 37. Okay? So I'm going to go cosine 137 equals. Then I'm going to multiply that by the 12 by the 16. Times 12 times 16 times negative 2, right? Because if I multiply by a negative 2, then that's really going to make it so I'm adding it to this. Does that make sense? Okay? So now I can say plus whatever this is equals, so this is 280.8 blah blah blah. Okay? Now, I'm going to take that, right? And what am I doing? Oh, then I'm going to add that to 12 squared and 16 squared, which is 144 plus 256, right? But 144 and 256, I could add that in my head if I wanted to, right? I could say that that's 60 plus 4 is 100, so that's 300, that'd be 400. Is that correct? Everybody got me there? This is plus 400, so plus 400, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that 400? You guys got me? The 256 plus 44 is 300 plus 100 is 400, right? So then I'm going to add that 400 to this 280, okay? So plus 400 equals, so I get for step 3, sorry about this, a little slow. Okay. For step 3, I get A is equal to 680.8398214. Okay? And I want to write that whole thing so that if I mess up, I have that number I can use later. Does that make sense? Alright? And step 3 is just simplification. There's a lot of steps we did to simplify, right? Yes, ma'am.
Is there still a square root?